Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on Iron Crafter and Mixed Media Mayhem. Iron Crafter is a hop that I host on my Facebook community group. If you are interested in joining in this hop, either through YouTube or Instagram, the link to my Facebook community group is below. I post each month's challenges, hops, into the event page. You are more than welcome to join in. You don't need my permission or any of those sorts of things. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what Iron Crafter Challenge is. This hop is where I choose a mystery ingredient and you get to create a layout with it. This month's mystery ingredient is washi. I have a ton of washi. I'm sure you guys do as well. Need to use it more because, as you probably already know, washi has a shelf life. If it gets too old, it either doesn't stick or comes off in little bitty pieces that aren't usable. And so we need to use this stuff. Thankfully, I don't buy that much washi anymore, but once in a while I see a pack that I gotta have. So that's what this month's mystery ingredient is. Mixed Media Mayhem also gives us a recipe each month, and I'll put that recipe card up here for you so that you can watch as I play along with this, but with both hops. And I will talk about the Mixed Media Mayhem ingredients here in a few, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start with this layout, get this mixed media going, and I'll be right back. All right, now I have the elements for Mixed Media Mayhem. I've got this humongous roll of corrugated paper, and I really thought that my trimmer was gonna cut this. I'm pretty sure my Tim Holtz trimmer does cut this, but all I ended up doing is basically scoring through part of it. And I'm not worried about those rough edges because I'm going to tear it anyway. But now I've got that corrugated paper. I've got my wet medium, which is this distress ink, as well as that gold spray up at the top. And I bring in a green spray later. So I wanted to try my hand at direct ink to paper first, just to see what I would get, and then spray it and let that run just a little bit. That's kind of fun. I think it would have worked better if my paper was gessoed. The distress ink didn't move as much as I would have liked, and that's fine. I'm going to be adding in layers here, so this mixed media portion is going to take up a little bit of time. Now I'm going to be using the ink smooshing technique or the packaging technique, whichever you would like to call it. I do want to point out that this is just regular white cardstock. I believe it is from Amazon and not my lovely Joann's white cardstock that I love. I bought a 50 pack of ultra thick white cardstock from Amazon just to see how I like it, and for the most part I like it. I don't think it does as well with mixed media as the Joann's paper, but since we have lost Joann's, I'm gonna have to find an alternative that I do enjoy using. I pulled out my heat gun because I wanted to make sure that I dried off some of this a little bit, and if you noticed, I grabbed my magnets for my magnetic glass mat from Glassboard Studio, and I went ahead and used those to help hold down this paper. If I had not weighted them down with the magnets, the paper would eventually curl really badly, and I didn't really want that. This is my tin of watercolors. These come to you in liquid form, and I bought a tin to hold them all in. Ironically, this particular tin doesn't have enough spaces for all of the colors, so I only have the ones in there. I only have some of them in there. I don't have all of them. If I want to use the others, I'll have to find a different way. So I added some more water to that, and I allowed that watercolor to drip. And look how easily this mat cleans up. It's a wonderful mat, and anytime that I have gotten something stuck on it, I have lightly used a razor blade to clean off like paint or texture paste, and it has not scratched as long as you use a delicate hand. So I have this stamp from Uniquely Creative. It's a brand new stamp to my stash. I loved it when I saw it. I think I got it at the, I know I got it at a cherry on top. And I'm just going to create 2 borders on either side of my dark red line there. I did allow my paper to dry for the most part. I think it's only slightly damp here. And I'm using archival ink from Ranger. It's waterproof, and since this was slightly wet, I didn't want to risk any bleeding from the black. And I'm not doing any second generation stamping. That's actually not my favorite thing to do. I just like to have a clean inked stamp every single time with fresh ink. So this is the acrylic gold that I purchased based on Kathy Loves to Scrap's recommendation. She said she likes this one, so I bought it. And I do like it. I still prefer my Prima metallic watercolors more, and so I'm going to have to make sure I find another one of those palettes before they're no longer made. I'm also going to be bringing in a green from Huey's ink, or Mr. Huey's ink. This one's called Tannenbaum, and it is mostly full. It's a very dark green, and initially when it first went down, it almost looked black because it's so dark. Mr. Huey's spray inks, when they first came out, I adored them. I still love them. They're no longer made. I got them from Studio Calico, and then later was able to pick up a bunch of them from Peachy Cheap. Now you can see that my background paper is warped, but it's not as bad as it could be because I used my magnets to weigh it down. So I like that it is not as warped as badly as it could be. And I just left it adhered to my mat while it dried, and I walked away and did other things while this background dried. I did come in a couple of more times and use that heat gun because the Mr. Huey's ink wasn't drying as quickly as I needed it to, and I really only had the day that I was working on this to get it done. So I cut my corrugated paper in half and realized it was still too wide, and I will save the other piece, but I tore it in half again. And remember, I said I didn't care if the edges were scuffy looking because I was going to tear it anyway. And so there you saw me tear it. I am gluing down this glue with my Nuvo glue, or this corrugated paper with my Nuvo glue, and I'm still having trouble with that Nuvo glue. I'm kind of excited to try the new bottle when this one runs out, just to see if I'm still having trouble getting the glue out of the bottle. I did clean out the tip. The tip is clean, and so it's not that. I suspect I might be dealing with an elevation issue. I have that same problem with my Barely Art glue, and I have a fine tip lid on it. I don't use the one that came with the bottle. I use the ones that I purchased from scrapperfect.com because I prefer those. And I noticed that I was having a lot of trouble getting the Barely Art glue out, and then I took it to WeCreate and had a great big splat because there's no elevation in Missouri, or at least not as high as it is here in Colorado. So I had these fussy cut elements from, I think this is Peppermint Kisses from Vicki Boutin. I am just now cutting into this collection for the very first time this year, and I took the hexagon paper from the paper pad and that floral paper from probably the paper pad, and I sat down one day watching TV and I fussy cut all of it out. And so I have a little bag of those fussy cut pieces ready to go whenever I want to work on a layout. This title piece is from Colorcast Designs, of course, and I believe it was purchased in October. I really loved that title, and I didn't put it away because I wanted to make sure I used it this month. I dug out a little bit of my lovely labels for journaling out of my my label binder. Boy, words are hard this morning. And I'm going to fussy cut it out the rest of the way, and it is going to end up on the left side of the paper on top of the flower. I will put foam adhesive in various places, and I also will scuff up my hexagons with my distress tool. All right, I got this layout completely finished. I was able to get all of the elements of both Iron Crafter and Mixed Media Mayhem. Mixed Media Mayhem asked that we use washi, a liquid, medium, and corrugated paper, which I got. And of course, Iron Crafter's prompt or challenge item this month was washi tape. I didn't by any means use a lot of washi tape, but I love that it helps draw your eye into that photo with it being down the center, and I love that the corrugated paper also helps bring your eyes inwards as well. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you are new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Remember, anybody is welcome to play along with any of my hops that I host over on my Facebook community group. I get those posted approximately 3 to 4 weeks before they are to go live, giving you plenty of time to do those. You can play with either Instagram and or YouTube. I list those YouTube or those Instagram participants down below first before that playlist, because I want you to make sure that you check out those amazing Instagram only creators. If you are playing on YouTube, you should be in that playlist. If you need any help getting onto the playlist, I'm always willing to help you get on the playlist. And I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Bye. Bye.